Seeking inner righteousness, symbiosis, Jesus confronts the Pharisees' superficial practices and Martha redirecting our focus towards what true connection with God and authentic spiritual living looks like. Matthew 14 to 16. Matthew 15 presents a confrontation between Jesus and the Pharisees, powerful and pious leaders, doubled and perplexed by Jesus' non-conformity to their standards. The Pharisees chastise him for his disciples' neglect of ritual hard working, which they view as an essential practice for maintaining holiness, but Jesus redirects their attention from ceremonial rites to the intention behind each practices. And who do you break the command of God for the sake of your tradition? With this question, Jesus steers the conversations from external practices to authentic spiritual living, which leads to true connection with God. Seeking inner righteousness is less about performative practices and more about embracing the virtues of love, mercy, and justice. As exemplified by Jesus here in Matthew, Jesus invokes the words of Isaiah 29. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their readings are merely human rules in their words. In other words, if we cling to practices that are meant to orient onto the virtues of God at the expense of actually living out those virtues, we've missed the mark. It's akin to deep cleansing rather than stuffing our clutter into a drawer to create the appearance of radiance, of tidiness. Standing our mess away may create the illusion of order and cleanliness, but it rather misses the point of organisation. Authentic faith is much the same, calling us to align ourselves with the core values Jesus embodies to truly live out of love, generosity, and grace. Sometimes truly righteous living can be complicated, messy, and may not always win the favour to embodying the values of God over and above the appearance of goodness. Vibrant faith emerges that naturally impacts all aspects of our lives. And what does authentic internal transformation look like? We see it in Jesus' ministry and his willingness to break with tradition, to reach out to those so often ignored. In Job 13:11 to 12, we witness Job's unyielding integrity in the face of immense suffering and misunderstanding by his friends. For Job, righteousness is not merely about external composure, but is deeply rooted in enduring honesty and resilience even under scrutiny. Paul urges believers to pursue inner righteousness in the letter to the Roman, describing love in action. These stories further urge us to reflect on our ways, challenging us to align our inner values with the outward expression, embodying a faith that is both sincere and valuable. As we navigate the scriptures, we are invited to examine our own lives. Do we truly spend our energy and align ourselves to embrace the things of God? Let us actively pursue the deep, heartful righteousness Jesus teaches, making it a lived reality in every action. May this journey be one of genuine transformation, that we not only work but truly embody. Amen. Now reflect with the questions we have. What are the responsibilities and the standards we enforced by others that prevent us from encountering Jesus and undergoing transformation? What are the human rules that we find easier to follow than engaging in authentic, true worship? How can we create space to practice the virtues of love, mercy, and justice? How might we organise our lives around these virtues as a way of embodying inner righteousness? And I want to end with a small prayer. Righteous God, let our words and life reflect hearts committed to love, mercy, and justice. May we choose the compassion and wisdom that you embodied and honour you. Amen.